Broadcasting live from the prairie stream on the plain of Zendikar, this is Tap Tap Concede. Because we're going back to Zendikar.
I'm already bored of Zendikar. What's the next?
We're back in the Zendikar.
Still Zendikar.
Ah,
Or I guess the Oath of the Gate Watch?
Oh, Oath of the Goat Watch.
Goat Watch. That's what you accidentally said this morning.
Yeah, Oath of the Goat Watch.
I want that set.
Yeah.
Reprint Goat Napper. Everything's great.
Yep.
Don't worry, we'll be fine when we go back to Lorwyn next time.
Today we're going to be talking about Magic at PAX, specifically the stuff that we did relating to Magic at this past PAX Prime last weekend. But first, let's crack a pack. Let's get right into it.
We have so many packs, you guys.
So many packs, you guys.
This is we probably have double this now, possibly triple.
Do you have others?
How did you? Well, they're in the box at your house, right?
How did you drop that?
I don't know where it went.
Way to roll.
It's under my chair. This is going to be awkward.
It's gone for it. Oh, it's right there. I rolled a 20.
Really?
Oh, wow, you did too.
It's right. Yeah.
Oh, sweet. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 20. Oh, really? All that cool stuff, and we get 4th edition.
Why would you put 4th at the 20?
It all jumbles forward.
Gotta be.
This is this has a J on it. This was yours. This is the one that you picked from last PAX Prime.
Oh, right. Yeah.
In fact, actually, grab that stack there, the 4th edition one, second from the top there.
Yeah.
Who's this from?
It's Chase.
Yeah, this was from Chase at last PAX Prime.
Right.
And it's got a J on it because this is the one that you picked.
Yeah.
Did this set have the duels in it?
No.
Nope.
That would be sweet.
It had everything taken out by this point, right?
Everything cool.
But
But
everything was white bordered.
Uncle Istvan's still around.
Oh, boy.
Uncle Istvan is a 1/3 for 1 black.
No.
All damage done to Uncle Istvan by creatures is reduced to 0.
I mean, the card is
Summon Uncle Istvan.
not playable ever, anywhere, at any point in time.
But he blocks all day.
He blocks all day. He can block one creature all day long, and all you need to do is pay triple black. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
I think this is when it's 3 uncommons, then the rare, and then the commons. I'm going to go back to the commons now. Fog. Just fog.
Huh.
First pick, currently.
Just to let you know, for one thing, Uncle Istvan obviously is a human now.
Yeah.
And his effect also works on abilities of creatures.
Oh.
So,
so you can't,
Pudginal Pyromancer can't hurt him either.
Interesting.
It's not only in combat.
Good
Okay.
old fog.
Fog, sure.
Giant growth.
Okay. It's the giant rat.
It's the huge rat that's been eating men.
Yeah.
So that's fun.
It's good art. Okay, currently first pick.
Your first pick is currently Giant Growth. All right. What about the awesome... Oh, sorry. Giant Growth is a single green mana for target creature gets +3/+3 until end of turn. I realize that it's easy to forget that some people might not know these sort of old standby cards. Fog, by the way, is no creatures deal combat damage this turn. Or, sorry, no creatures deal damage in combat this turn, which is now prevent all combat damage. But anyway. Sea Serpent. It's a 5/5 for 5 and a blue. Cannot attack if defending player controls no islands. If at any time you control no islands, bury Sea Serpent.
Right.
No.
Didn't that second ability get turned into a keyword and then turned back from not...
Island Home?
Yeah, it was Island Home. And then it got abandoned as a keyword?
I didn't
God,
even know
I hope so.
I didn't even know what I've never heard of Island Home until right now.
Or maybe Island Home... Yeah, I think that's what it does. I don't know, Paul's looking it up.
Paul can look it up.
Nope.
All right. Land Home, which is a obsolete keyword, so it is no longer used. Prevents a creature with that ability from being declared as an attacker if the defending player controls no lands of the appropriate type, and the creature is sacrificed if the controller doesn't control any lands of the appropriate type.
Oh, so this whole thing is
Land Home.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Huh.
Interesting.
It is now printed as 2 abilities, like it is on
Like as if each sentence on this card was a different ability.
Yeah.
Weird.
Like haste and vigilance, land home is not originally keyworded, but unlike those abilities, it's lost its keyword after WotC decided it was uninteresting.
Yeah.
And it only appeared on only 5 cards were ever printed with the words island home on them.
Huh, interesting.
It's a garbage
And
ability.
no other homes were ever printed.
Only island home.
They did 5 island homes. Theoretically, there could have been other homes, but they never bothered with it.
Right.
Okay.
Grape Shot Catapult is pretty good, actually. It's a 2/3 artifact creature for 4. And you tap it to deal 1 damage to target creature with flying. And because all the creatures with flying back in the day were garbage, this is probably going to kill something.
Like a purple bat.
Like a purple bat. That goblin looks really happy about it.
Yeah. Although the catapult they've used seems like it's a bit of an overkill for such a small creature.
Well,
But-
it's firing a bunch of grape shot, so you're going with literally the shotgun approach.
That's
you're just
true.
like, put all these pebbles in it and shoot broadly in that kind of region. Oh, God, no. Marsh Viper. It's a 1/2 for 3 and a green.
Yeah.
If Marsh Viper damages a player, he or she gets 2 poison counters. If a player has 10 or more poison counters, he or she loses the game.
Hooray!
Remember poison counters before Infect worked?
Nope.
Yep. Gaseous Form is a creature enchantment for 2 and a blue. Target creature, or the enchanted creature, neither deals nor receives damage during combat.
That seems bad.
It's also Phil Foglio art with this gaseous form with enormous boobs
And shiny white teeth,
Yeah.
which is weird.
and a scimitar.
That was back when they did flavor text
Yeah, I was just
from
noticing.
real things,
Yeah,
too.
this is from Midsummer Night's Dream. That's weird.
They don't do that anymore.
Okay.
It's like it's a personal fog.
The Marsh Viper had flavor text from Memoirs of a Soldier by Mevian O'Donnell, and I don't know if that's a real person or not.
We'll pretend it is.
All right. Hey, Grey Ogre.
Yay!
Yay. First pick.
It's the original Grey Ogre. It's a 2/2 for 2 and a red.
Done.
That's it.
Yep.
When people refer to in the same way that people refer to a 2/2 for 2 as a bears, a Grey Ogre is a 2/2 for 3.
Yep.
There you go, Grey Ogre. Basically Grey Ogre. Wall of Wood.
Sure is.
It's a 0/3 for 1 green.
Remember cracking a lotus and going for 3 wall of wood?
No, because nobody did that ever.
Well, it's a great way to stop the person who cracks a lotus and goes for the Grey Ogre.
yeah,
Yep.
that's true.
Turn 1 Grey
What
Ogre.
are you gonna do?
Also, this has Defender because it's a wall.
Yeah.
And all the creatures that were originally creature type wall have Defender.
yeah.
I think actually technically any creature that is printed now with wall also would have Defender, but I don't know if they use wall that much.
I can't. They still like Wall of Fire.
Well, but like Guardians of Meletis are a golem.
Yeah.
Technically, even though they're just a 0/6 with Defender.
Yeah. Wall of Ice. There's still walls around.
Oh, here's my actual first pick so far. It's Unsummon.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
1 blue.
1 blue instant.
Yeah.
Return target creature to its owner's hand.
Done.
And that creature is a weird looking Minotaur thing
Spectre thingy.
in this case. Thanks, Doug Schuler.
I actually like that art a lot.
Yeah.
It's kind of neat.
How about Psychic Venom?
I don't know this card.
1 in a blue. You recognize the art when you see it. Enchant land.
Oh.
Whenever target land becomes tapped,
Yeah,
Psychic
yeah.
Venom deals 2 damage to that land's controller. It's the snake with the eyes.
Yeah. This card.
All snakes have eyes, Graham.
But this has
The other eyes.
this has human eyes behind it. This seems I remember playing this card actually as a kid, and it was pretty awesome because it was just like,
You can just not tap that land, I guess.
well, yeah, but back then you run 4 of these, right? And you just
Yeah.
enchant all like 4 of their lands. And what are they going to do? Not
Die.
tap 4 lands?
Die, I guess.
No, they're going to tap all 4 and take 8. I'm going to win the game.
That's how it works. War Mammoth is a 3/3 with Trample for 3 and a green. That's pretty all right.
Yeah. Yeah, this is fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with 3/3 for 4. And
So far, first pick.
tack on trample, why not?
Elven Riders. I don't think I've ever seen this card. It's a 3/3 for 3 green.
Okay.
Can't be blocked except by walls and creatures with flying.
That's
Weird.
really weird.
They're all riding dogs.
That makes less sense. They're all riding dogs, but can't be blocked by creatures on the ground
They also look like
unless they're a wall.
They also look like Russian circus performers. Look at that facial hair and the outfits.
That's very weird.
They look like Cossacks.
Yeah. Cossacks riding wolves.
Yeah. That can't be blocked except by creatures with flying and walls.
Is it? I guess it's like creatures on the ground can't keep up. Maybe
I
they're
guess
like
so.
too fast, and they can't go around walls. And creatures that fly are just as fast. Let's go with that.
Sure.
Okay.
I'm trying to figure out how this makes sense.
I've never seen this card before. Conversion. 2 white for an enchantment. All mountains become basic plains.
Dominated.
That
Land hate.
upkeep, double white.
Ugh. That got significantly worse.
I mean, it's pretty bad to start with.
Yeah.
During your upkeep, pay white
I don't
or
know,
destroy conversion.
This is pretty oppressive against like a mono red deck. It's just like
I love the art is just a mountain in a plain.
yeah.
It's like, if you take a couple steps further back, it's actually a plains.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of a
It's
crappy
only
mountain too.
It's only a mountain if you crop in. It's very strange.
I was on board with this card until I heard there was an upkeep.
And then what I believe is the rare, just because of where it was ordered in the pack, but I really have no concept.
Oh, hey, buddy.
Clockwork Avian.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Avian.
yeah.
Sorry, Avian.
Yeah.
Clockwork Avian is a 0/4 artifact creature for 5 colorless.
So much text.
It has flying and a whole bunch of text. When it comes into play, put 4 +1/+0 counters on it.
Okay, so it's a 4/4 for 5.
At the end of any combat in which it is assigned to attack or block, remove a counter.
Okay.
So after it's dealt damage.
Okay.
For X and tap, put X +1/+0 counters on Clockwork Avian. You may have no more than 4 of these counters on Clockwork Avian. Use this ability only during your upkeep,
I love that. Only during your upkeep.
which makes it very
So bad.
Yeah, this card's terrible.
So bad.
It's so slow and bad and awful and bad.
I mean, do you just play it as a 4/4 flying for 5 that slowly gets smaller over time?
Because
Because it's not going to die. It's
Yeah.
always going to be at the very least an 0/4, right?
I think when I played this, because we drafted once, it was a bad idea. I think when I played this, I would like hit for 4 and then hit for 3, and then like take a turn off and pay 2 mana and take it back up to a 4. You could probably do 4/3/2 before doing it, and then put 3 mana into it. I don't think you want to bother hitting for 1. I think you want to use that turn to
Rewind it.
And you can always pump it back up, like
only during your upkeep.
only during your upkeep.
and
but,
no more than 4.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
I don't think it's the worst card ever printed, but probably pretty close.
Chase, why did you do this to us?
It, according to the looking at the Gatherer rulings, it can block even if it doesn't have any counters.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. You can have an
Yeah,
04
so
flying blocker.
You just have an
But-
04 flying blocker. Which
But if it has counters and it blocks, it loses one of those counters.
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right, well, we'll put this in the Crack-A-Pack box. Congratulations.
Yep.
Sucker.
Ha.
So that's exciting. So, hey, PAX.
Yep. We went
For those
to
of
it.
you who didn't see any pictures on the social media or the internet or anything and you weren't there, Wizards went all out. So they basically took over the annex, the sort of adjacent building that's connected via, it's under the area of the convention center that's connected via the Sky Bridge. And they basically took it over for Magic. The lower floor had the Magic World Championships and an area for drafting and their own panel room, the
Yep.
Seagate Theater, that they ran Magic panels in there all weekend.
completely separate from PAX.
There was the Live to Work, which was the Mark Rosewater Drive to Work podcast live. They gave him a steering wheel and had like video of
Of
Seattle Road behind him.
Yeah.
They had Limited Resources, number 300, with Marshall and Ryan, the first co-host.
I guess we should point out, by the way, that this is actually episode 100 of Tap Tap Concede.
Is it?
Wow.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
We didn't really obviously plan anything.
Hey.
That's not true. Originally, I think it was Paul and I or somebody. Our idea for Tap 100
Right, I was
a
that.
bootleg copy of limited resources 300.
Yeah. We were going to go and just like record it on like my phone.
Yeah.
And then upload it before
Marshall
could, and be like, haha, sucker.
Tap is yeah, no.
Because their panel was Marshall and Ryan and John and Brian and LSV.
Yep.
So it was because originally it was going to be just Marshall and Ryan, who was the first co-host. And then because LSV was going to be there for World Champs anyway, then he was on it. And then John and Brian crashed the panel.
It was pretty good, actually. You should definitely go check it out if you haven't seen it.
I haven't
yet.
actually watched it yet, but
It is
Marshall was
quite
talking about
good.
it on stream. He said that John brought like a 12-pack of donuts.
Yeah.
And was like,
Here's your lunch or whatever it was. Or...
yeah, hey, Marshall, here's the lunch you asked me to grab you on the way.
Yeah. It was really good. I was actually surprised how good it was. I actually didn't think it would be. I thought it would be very easy for them to go off the rails with all of them up there.
Yeah.
But they kept on topic, and it was a lot of fun.
Sweet. Well, I want to check that out. But they did a cosplay panel. They did like a story panel. They did like a how to be a pro Magic player panel.
Yep.
They did all sorts of stuff in there. And then on Saturday afternoon was the Battle for Zendikar, which we participated in, amongst others. When you want to talk about that?
Yeah, no, it was super sweet.
Like what it was?
Cam, go ahead.
Okay, basically what it was is that you got in line for a really long time, and eventually you got to play a magic celebrity using one of 3 Zendikar decks
Yeah.
against the magic celebrity, who was us, playing a very special Eldrazi deck,
Yeah.
which was green-black ramp.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the 3 Zendikari decks were like a white equipment deck
Like
with
mono
core,
white core equipment.
a landfall deck, which was green-red,
Yep.
and it was just like played a Geopede, crack Evolving Wilds,
Ugh.
beat you,
Harrow.
Harrow,
Cry about it.
yeah, and then there was an Allies deck in Bant colors,
Which was very strong.
yeah, quite good.
So basically, okay, well, wait. So we were the Eldrazi.
Yes.
And who was we? Well, it was 3 of us, myself, James, and Cam, and Kathleen and Ian. We were the Loading Ready Run representatives, but also Will Wheaton and Felicia Day.
Yep.
And good Lord, so many people.
Bobak,
Yeah, Bobak
Bobak,
Ferdosi from
Chris
the
Cluey,
Jet
Nate
Propulsion
Holtz,
Laboratory, Chris Cluey.
Mikey,
Mikey
Yeah,
Newman
Mikey
was
Newman
there.
from
Rich
Gearbox.
Hagan was there. Brian David Marshall was out there. Marshall
Sutcliffe
was out there.
Marrow,
Yeah, Mark
they had a whole
Rosewater,
bunch. They had Mark
Jimmy
Rosewater,
Wong,
Jimmy Wong
from Commander Cast.
Aaron Forsyth. There was a bunch of
Sorry,
people.
Command Zone. I keep
Yeah.
apologies to Jimmy and the Rocket Jump people because I keep getting that wrong from the Command Zone podcast.
A whole bunch. There was
I was on that
There was a whole
podcast.
bunch of R&D folks that sort of cycled out with one another.
Mike Turian, Doug Bayer.
Yeah. Forsyth just completely crushed. It was pretty sweet.
Yeah.
Dude went 11-0.
So it was really cool because we had, we were the Eldrazi, and we had these Eldrazi decks, and they sort of let us look through them beforehand, and they were, basically, they were green-black ramp with sort of like top end. I think there was like one copy of Ulamog in there. None of the other Titans, because the other Titans are not on Zendikar right now. But there was also 2 cards in our decks that hadn't been spoiled yet.
Yep.
And so if it came up in a game, be like, here's this card. Maybe you want to read this card. And then people were like, what? And so it was the Eldrazi Devastator, which was an 8/9 with trample for 8 colorless.
Yep.
It was pretty cool. And
Sort of the
Kozilek's
crusher of the set.
Kozilek's Channel.
Kozilek's Channeler, which was a 4/4 for 5 that taps for 2 colorless and is awesome. That's really good. So that came up a little bit, and the way that it worked was the more the Zendikari, the PAX attendees, the more games they won, the more damage they dealt to the Eldrazi horde, and for each Eldrazi they killed, they revealed a preview card. And the Zendikari were successful, and they revealed 7 cards finishing
really
with
don't know.
well, it was 9 total, so and these two. So yeah, so finishing with Ulamog, and it was super fun. So apparently, our decks were designed to be
Kind of soft.
a little, yeah, because they didn't want us to like
Dream Crush.
play badly. Well, they also didn't want us to play badly or like throw games.
Yeah.
Like they wanted us to actually play Magic, but it would suck if we just went in and we're like, we're going to roll you, and our deck is totally unfair, and none of the cards get revealed, and everyone has a bad time.
Right.
So our decks were designed to be, a little weak. That said, I
did not find that to be.
I think I went like 4-3.
I went 1 and 3.
Wow, you only got 4 games in?
I was in the second wave.
Oh, that was shorter?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't know. Because it was like, I thought it was just like an hour and a half and an hour and a half.
Well,
Oh, no,
it was-
I got subbed in like 3/4 of the way through the event.
It was an hour and a half and an hour and a half, but they didn't start at around the half an hour left mark. They didn't start any new games because
Right.
they didn't want them to go far into the
Right, that makes sense.
the hour. So
Okay.
anybody who finished their game at around 6:30, basically, if you finish your game at 6:30 or later, then you were done.
Right,
You didn't
right.
start a new guy.
So I got everyone who I played at least had a cursory understanding of who we were, which was nice. One person I had to explain a little bit to, but most people were like pretty jazzed to be playing against somebody from Loading Ready Run, which was nice because there was a couple of games in there where I just did gross stuff. There was they were all very, very good games because they weren't best of 3 matches. They were all very good games, but there was one game that I won where my opponent just like, when I won the game, the only permanent they had in play was a forest.
Whoa.
Because Annihilator is
mean.
real. And
Yeah.
I'm glad that they've figured out this new ability for the Eldrazi. I actually really like it. We're not really talking about the spoiler cards today.
We'll do that next week.
We'll talk about them next week. But I'm much more a fan of this ability than Annihilator, because Annihilator is just backbreaking.
Yeah, well, it's feel bad, the mechanic.
It's really bad.
Right?
It's like, oh, I guess we're actually done playing Magic now, because there's nothing that I can draw. Because it's like, well, now I have less land than I did before, so now I have to somehow draw an even cheaper spell to kill this 8/8.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Those don't exist.
No, but the decks that the attendees got to choose from were super fun as well. The one of the games I lost, my opponent had. I almost got there, but my opponent had. My opponent was at like 50 something life, and I was
The ally deck.
I was about to cast All Is Dust. And just like wipe their, like they had really overcommitted, and I was
Right.
just about to wipe it because they were like drawing lots of cards off of whichever ally lets you draw cards
The
equal to the number of allies you control.
Yeah, Seagate, not Seagate, Lore Master?
I think
yeah,
so,
Seagate
yeah.
Lore Master.
And so they'd like super overcommitted, and I was like, yes, All Is Dust, yes. And then on the next turn they played Kibira Evangel, which gives all your allies protection from whatever color.
Yeah.
And I had like 2 Eldrazi spawn and 3 green creatures like Kozilek's Predator and Nest Invaders. And they're like, okay, pro green, you can only block 2 of my guys, turn everyone sideways. And I was like, oh, so I'm dead then. Oh, okay.
I had something similar where I had all his dust in hand, and the opponent had like 2 creatures that were like, a 4/4 and a 3/3. And I was like at 12 life and thought, no, I'm going to wait for him to commit a bit more. And then he was just like, turn these guys sideways. I'm like, okay. He's like, combat trick, combat trick, combat trick.
Yeah.
Oh.
That definitely happened a couple times to me, too.
Oh. And then the core deck, actually, I only played once, but it super rolled me as well. Because they were just like, get down their 2/3 flyer, like the Hookmaster or whatever, and then like a trusty machete and a second trusty machete and a pen and blade, and I'm just sort of sitting there like, I can't block flyers. Oh, not the Hookmaster, the Skyfisher.
Skyfisher,
yeah.
That's the one that has flying. So yeah, it was that was pretty rough. But there's some games that I won in spectacular fashion with Ulamog and everything. So that was exciting as well. And so yeah, then they unlocked all those cards, or all the preview cards. And then there was the actual preview show, which was super cool. And I mentioned a little on Twitter that we were like heavily involved in this year, which was super, super cool. So if you saw the preview show, you saw that I came up on stage and did like a bit with Doug Bayer, because I've legitimately been asking at the PAX panels for the last several years, this game is full of gorgeous art. When can we buy an art book? And they're like, that's something we'd like to, I don't know, would you guys like that? Because they can't say yes or no. So that's always like, I don't know, crowd, is that something you would be into? Okay, well, hey, Graham, why don't you tell Mark Purvis there, who does brand stuff, when, we'll think about it. And, of course, they've been working on, because the way the Wizards works, they've been working on this for like a year, or more than a year, and they're finally doing an art book, which I'm really, really excited about. So you may have seen that, but Wizards actually approached us like a month before.
Yeah, about that.
The thing to actually help write that whole preview show that Will Wheaton and Ashley Birch hosted, because what they wanted to avoid was having it sound like a really stilted corporate, like all the worst E3 presentations you've ever heard of, basically, which would have been real easy for it to sound like that. So yeah, we were pretty excited to be involved with that. So Kathleen and I actually went down and had a meeting at WotC, because they don't like to send information outside the building. And we got to see the cards that were going to be spoiled in the show, and asked to sort of help. Like, they knew that they wanted to have, they wanted to like throw to Doug to talk about story, and they wanted to throw to Mark to talk about mechanics. And they had cast Will and Ashley, and that was sort of what they had. And then we worked with them to sort of structure it a little bit, have it like Ashley and Doug throw back and forth, and then Will and Mark throw back and forth, and write some of the jokes that hopefully wouldn't sound like jokes. TM, written by writers, copyright.
Right.
Like, it was really key for us that we like talk with Will and Ashley beforehand, and like make sure that these are words that they would feasibly say out loud. Like, if you want to alter this line to something that you feel you would say, please do that. Do not just be like, that's a hilarious joke, Ashley, thank you for asking, right?
Right.
The worst possible thing. And it's like, hey, Wizards has already hired 2 people who are good at being, affable, and they're good at public speaking and making jokes. So it's like the weirdest thing for someone who's being hired as a writer to say, but it's like, I don't want to script this that heavily. And so that was actually super fun, because although it did mean that we had to, because we knew, like, we all knew what the cards were going to be and about the expeditions and stuff, and so we had to like keep that secret for a while. And people were like, what do you think the dual lands are going to be? Mark Rosewater said there'd be new dual lands, and we're like, oh, I don't know. I'm
still not talking about this set with anybody, because I know that there are cards that I know of that I don't know when they're going to be they're happening. So it's just like, nope. No, thank you. It's not risking it. Yeah, because like people in the chat room when we're streaming, they'd be like, what do you guys think? And we'd be like, I don't know. What do you think? I don't want to talk about it. Because it's just it's really awkward, and it'd be so easy to be like, oh man, Paul with the Merchant of Secrets. That's awesome. It was, because I like, if I'm doing gifts or something, or for like someone's birthday, like I love giving surprises, and like obviously we're under NDA and there's legal reasons for it, but I would have been so bummed if the surprise got ruined, because I remember being at the PAX party last year when they announced that the fetch lines were being reprinted in cons, right? And the reaction was amazing, and I wanted to help do something like that. And so one of the things that we really pushed for from our side at Loading Ready Run was to save the reveal of the other expeditions until the very end, as like a mic drop moment. Because when originally Mark Rosewater had it planned that he would talk about the dual lands and then talk about the expeditions and be like, and we're doing these other cycles, and it's going to be the fetch lands and the shock lands, and that's what that's going to be. And we were like, can you save that until the end, so it's this big like
boom, mic drop, out. This is what we're doing. And so he set it up in his bid. He's like, it's going to be 2 10-land cycles. We think you'll like them. And everyone's like, oh, what are they going to, and Mark being like, I can't talk about it right now. And then, so it's a surprise at the end when it's like, this is what they are. It's the shock lands and the fetch lands. Boom. And they're all, by the way, I also love that they did it. This, of course, we had no part in because they put a plan this years ago, but that they've redone the art to be set on Zendikar. I love that. I think that's really, really cool that all the Ravnica shocklands are now like sort of based on Zendikar from an art perspective.
Right.
The did you see the one Noah Bradley did for Godless Shrine?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Well, I mean, like those names are generic, right? Like they aren't Ravnica exclusive.
They're not like
No.
Selesnya Guildgate.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be awkward.
Yeah.
Yeah, there he is.
Yeah.
Yeah, the card is sweet.
Yeah. So there was, my favorite was, I was trying to figure out if we wanted to slow roll when Mark first announced the dual lands, the new set of duels, the 5 that are in the new set, like Prairie Stream. I was trying to figure out whether it was worthwhile to slow roll that they had the basic subtypes, because I think that's really interesting. And Mark was like, well, it's something we don't do often, but I don't think it's worth, because I was like, when we were brainstorming, I was like, what if you reveal it with that sort of like photoshopped out, and then you're like, and then reveal that they have the subtypes. And he's like, I don't think so. I don't want to do that. And, so Wizards was like, no. But when they revealed them, there was someone sitting like 3 seats over from Kathleen and I in the audience who yelled, "What have you done?" And I thought it was so funny. I was like, that's the guy that slow roll would have worked on.
Yeah.
But granted, for most people, it's not super relevant. And that's one of the interesting things in this situation is like, who are we trying to hit with this, right?
Yeah.
Because it's like, it's at PAX, so locally, like in the room, the 300 people there, it's very likely that there's people there who are not super enfranchised players. But watching at home, they probably will be more. But more enfranchised players watch from home because these things are usually directed more to them.
Right.
So if we want to encourage new players to watch something like this, then we can't do that. But if we don't do that, then what hell the enfranchised players think? And it's like, so basically we just sort of settled on, let's just not worry about that and just try to make it fun.
I mean, the enfranchised players, you could have made the enfranchised players happy by just inviting them in and doing like a slideshow of all the cards, right? Like they
exactly.
don't care about the spectacle. They just want to see this.
I know, but I like a good spectacle.
No,
so.
that's fine, and that's what we were brought on to do.
Yeah, exactly.
Is to create that spectacle. But these cards, man. Do we want to get into the naming thing right now? Are we going to turn this into an argument? What do we call these lands?
Oh, right. Okay. So immediately after these were spoiled, people were trying to figure out what the nickname was because, of course, everyone, all the land cycles have to have a nickname. There's the buddy lands and the check lands and
shock
the
lands
shock
and the pain lands and the dual
filter
lands and filter lands. And
so there's a debate about these ones that I fall on one side of.
I mean, I would like to know what some of the other suggestions are, because as of right now, there's only I haven't actually heard of anyone that's like a front runner.
Yeah.
Like I haven't actually really been on, I guess, Reddit, which is probably where a lot of this conversation is happening.
Yeah.
So I don't know where Reddit stands right now, but yeah, the two that I've heard a lot of is Tango lands and double check lands.
Yeah. So I prefer double check lands for a couple of reasons. I just like I like the sound of the name better, and I like that because there already are the check lands that come into play untapped if you control a basic of the type on the card. Yeah. Like trying to think of one. They were printed in Scars of Mirrodin. The
Razorfield Thicket.
Razorfield Thicket. So it taps for green or white, and it comes in untapped if you control a plains or a mountain.
Yeah,
those are the check lands.
Or no, those are the fast lands. The check lands are the ones like
fast lands.
Fastlands with the Scar Samaritan one.
Oh God,
Right.
what am I getting so
You're
wrong? here?
thinking about like
Oh no.
Underground Stream and Adakar Waste. No, wait, those are the Painlands. We're thinking of Glacial Fortress. Yes.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Could you pull up Glacial Fortress
You see our dilemma.
or any other from that cycle, like Dragon Skull Summit or whatever?
There's so many nicknames.
Okay. So let me try and get this correct
Okay.
here. Right.
Yes.
Thank you. Glacial Fortress enters tapped unless you control a plains or an island.
Check lands.
Check lands. And this is the reason I like double check lands is because it comes in untapped unless you control 2 basics. So it's you're checking 2 lands, right? And they're the second ones, so it's the double check lands. There are 3. I talked about this on stream yesterday. There's 3 reasons I don't like Tango lands. So the joke is because it takes 2 to tango.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's cute.
You didn't get that joke? That's the whole reason. That's
That's cute.
the
Yeah.
whole thing.
So the reason I don't like it is actually that brings up a good point. Is that Trick and I think Aaron Forsyth were asking on Twitter, and a lot of people, especially people from outside the U.S., don't get that.
That's fine.
Well, I think it's a bit of a problem when people are like, "I don't understand why these are called the Tango lands," and you explain it. It's like, because it takes 2 to tango, and the response is, "What?"
Okay.
I don't know what that means, right? It's like, okay, so it's not great. 2, I think so there's 2 basic lands in play, and then you play the 3rd land, and then it takes 2, and then you have
No, that's
the
just
3rd
semantics.
one.
Now you're just getting...
No, that bugs me.
Yeah.
Taking 2 to tango should be one thing and another thing, and they do something together.
Okay.
Yeah, suddenly
so
you've got
now,
3 being a crowd.
So what we
Right.
do,
And-
rename this to these are now Tango lands, because now there are 2 of them.
And then the new ones are the 3's a crowd land.
Or
Like-
we just name those check lands. Because here's the thing.
Wait. The 3rd thing is, this is totally personal. I admit that this is all on me. I don't like how it sounds.
So
I think Tango Land sounds dumb.
Here's what I don't like about...
I kept hearing Tangle Land.
Oh, Tangle lands? Here's what I don't like about double check is that it's 2 words. And every single other land,
Double check.
it's just a 1-word thing. Pain lands, gain lands, check lands, fetch,
It's
whatever.
It's quick to say.
It just doesn't fit the naming scheme with all the other lands, though. Like that's my biggest reason for not being a huge fan of double check. I don't care what we call them,
No, I don't care either.
but we
really.
do need a consensus.
I mean, I don't like Tango Land, but
I'm going to be different and say that I like dual checks.
Can we
Dual
think
checks.
of a 1-word? Because I want to be. I want to sell this right now. I want to be the
Let's
guys.
hear what Paul has to say.
Okay, so I'm looking at a thread on MTG Salvation
Okay.
where they're working on this exact problem.
Okay.
They've been really hammering
We
this
have
out.
top
Yeah.
men.
Top
Top men
men.
are working on this. We got a lot of there's some options that I have not heard before.
Okay.
So we got base lands, as in they're looking for
Basic lands.
Basic lands.
Base lands.
Because see
Okay.
the problem that people have brought up with the dual check thing is that the checked lands are looking for specific lands, whereas these ones are looking for any land.
They just care about
which is a little confusing if you just call them like.
By the way,
So they're different than just twice the other one.
in their chat, some people were like, "Discount double check lands," and I was like,
No.
I was like,
That-
I was
you
like,
made it
that's
worse.
That's worse.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
more
that's-
words. Why is that better? And I'd seen people say this a lot actually. In response to me being like double check lands, and people are like, "Oh yeah, discount double check," and I'm like, "No, that's bad. Why do you keep saying this?" And finally, in the chat yesterday, someone said it. It's a reference to a TV commercial that airs in the States. Again, that's bad. For
Progressive
no,
insurance?
it was
State Farm?
yeah, like State Farm Insurance, that like the discount double check or something.
All right.
And I'm like, no,
No.
that's not worth it.
That's
Yeah,
weird.
it's like, at this point, it's just faster to say Prairie Stream.
Okay,
Okay, what else you got?
all right. So
At
we
least
got
you don't have
so
to
base
explain that
lands.
to me.
Okay, baselands.
And then there's also variations on slow lands
Okay.
or lag lands is another one. So the idea being that they come out later.
I'm not opposed to Lagland.
The other ones, there's ones that are based on the set. So battle lands for Battle for Zendikar,
Okay.
Okay.
Battleland. All right.
or Zlands.
No,
Now,
I don't even want to know why. I just know.
Like Zendikar lands.
Yeah.
Which ones are the fast lands and why are they fast? Because
They're from Scars.
but I don't like the thing is slow lands. Is it because it's not because of the tapping, right? It's because they only come in untapped if you play them on turn 3. Is that why? Because plenty of land come in tapped unless
Right.
you satisfy a condition.
Yes.
So is it the turn
It's
3
because
thing?
it's turn 3, yeah.
Okay.
What's
that angel that you can't play on the first 2 turns?
Oh,
Sarah Avenger?
Sarah
yeah,
Avenger.
Sarah Avenger.
Avenger lands is not that great.
Charm lands?
Also, it's more than just the first 2. I think it's the first couple turns, like 3 turns, isn't it?
So charm lands. Third one's the charm.
I like that way better than Tango lands.
Yeah.
That
I'm okay with that.
my semantic issue about taking 2 to Tango, that satisfies that
Yeah.
condition.
Yeah.
Charmlands.
Charm
Okay.
lands, okay.
Someone's saying that slow land is actually already taken by the Kamigawa cycle of lands.
Yeah.
Oh, like Lantern Lit Graveyard?
Yeah, and Cloud
And
Crest Lake.
Tranquil
yeah,
Thicket?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Zools.
no.
No.
Zendikar duels.
Is it- yeah.
Oh,
Party lands.
that's clever.
Once again, 3 people
Three
as a party.
to party. No.
I prefer party lands to Tango lands.
If we're going to do that, I'd prefer crowd lands.
crowd, right?
Three's a
Three's a
crowd.
crowd. Okay, crowd lands.
I still think I actually like charm lands.
Yeah,
the best.
charm lands are. Yeah.
Yeah.
Deuce lands.
Deuce lands.
Yeah, that's what it says.
Well, what the deuce?
Turn 3, drop a deuce.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tap out for your 3 drop. No.
Yeah.
No.
Uh,
Wow.
Yeah.
I would like. I mean,
dub lands.
dub lands.
Dublands. Is
Dublands.
that one word?
Dubs lands.
Dubs lands.
No.
Zlands. is
Mana
so
bases
bad.
are going to be so weird in the next standard set.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are.
Right?
With like the
Because you got the onslaught fetches
triples.
in right from
we've got
cons.
like these mountains of like gain lands and then the ones that tap for triple mana
right from cons block.
that enter tapped, and then you've got like the fetches that can fetch like duels that enter untapped.
The new lands, yeah.
So like turn 3 is going to be so explosive.
Yeah.
It's going to be like
Yeah.
turn 1 nothing, turn 2 nothing, turn 3.
Whatever I want.
There's a
Yeah.
couple others here. Late lands, which is the same as lag lands.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this one
I do like the alliteration in late lands and lag lands. I just don't like the names that much.
I like this one because of how deep it goes.
Okay. Oh no.
Heartlands.
Oh.
HART lands.
Okay.
Because in order for enter them untapped, you have to do the equivalent of sacrificing a burnished heart, which is an artifact creature that you sacrifice him, pay 3 and sacrifice it to search your library for 2
No.
basic lands.
That's way too inside.
They're just
That strikes me as being a bit convoluted.
Yeah, that's way too deep.
that's like that's a backronym is what that is. Like
Yeah.
that's
Like
okay.
I want to call these Heartlands.
Heartlands. How can we make
So-
this
How
work?
can how do we? Yeah.
Somebody wanted really, really badly to call it Shield.
I just want us to figure out the name because I
someone
want
is
to be the
saying-
guys who decided this.
Yeah.
Someone is saying slow lands you could still use because the Kamigawa cycle sucks so much that nobody uses it, so it doesn't
That's
matter.
true. That is true.
Slowlands are so. That's just a boring name, though.
Yeah.
The base lands, but this guy's calling them based duels.
Based duels.
Duels. Oh God.
Yeah.
Thank you,
That's-
based duels.
Thank you. Yeah,
Buddy
we
lands, because they need friends to show up before
Buddy,
they're fully
those
functional.
exist already, don't they?
Yep.
Buddy lands
Buddy,
exist.
Yeah, Buddy,
Buddy
lands
lands
are
are
a
check.
thing.
Is Buddy lands a different name for the check lands?
I think it may be.
I think it is. Yeah.
I think we should just call them Snaplands so that it completely demolishes Victoria.
Victoria is like weird.
our local bubble vocabulary.
I haven't heard that for a long time. Although I guess I haven't been down.
All
to
right. What are things that happen with a third one? Right. Strike lands.
Yeah, strike lands are not bad. Hat trick, but that doesn't work. That's too long.
Trick lands doesn't work.
Trick
Although I
lands
bet
is-
Trick would like it.
Trick would like it, but you were not going to call them trick lands.
Stooge lands.
Oh God.
Not just things that there are threes of.
Yeah, something
Like
that
something has
actually,
to happen on the third one, right?
Yeah,
The
strikes.
trips.
Straight trips. Y'all be tripping. Trip lands.
To be honest,
Ball lands.
so far my favorite from your list is
Sad
Charm
lands.
Sad lands.
Sadly. It's like Badlands, but sad.
All right. Well,
we're just going to wind up calling them the Zendikar duels, right?
Yep.
no. A name will stick. Like you don't call any. There's no other lands that you just call by the set name, right?
It's true.
Like,
you
it just
only use
doesn't
I mean,
exist.
there's the fetch lands, and you will
usually
refer to like the Zendikar
fetches.
fetches or the Onslaught fetches,
Right.
But they're all fetches.
they're still the fetches.
Yeah. We will never call these the Zendikar duels. They will get a name, and what I'm saying is we should be the people to decide that shit.
Even if we haven't made it up, we should.
Yeah,
we should
or just steal somebody else's idea.
plant a flag in it and be like, it is
I feel
this
like
one.
we need to plant a flag right here now on this week's Tap Tap.
Yeah.
So people just start using that name.
So it's agreed. Zendikar duels.
We're gonna make it a thing. We're gonna be the first ones to do it. I don't know. Like, of all the ones that we've gone off of, I like Charm.
Yeah.
It's
Like
it's
Strike
simple.
Lands does. I like the sound of Strike Land a little better, but when you get the third strike, typically that's a bad thing.
Well,
And it's also-
no, it's
strike-
a bad thing for the batter. It's a good thing for the pitcher.
That's true.
Strike,
You throw
strike
your third
lands
strike.
to me imply damage being dealt somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess if there was like a like the shock lands is you take two
some
because of
damage.
shock.
Yeah.
Are we overthinking this? Probably.
That's what we're here for.
Yeah, we're here,
We're
to
here to
overthink it so
overthink.
you don't have to.
Yeah.
Except I'm sure that the YouTube comments for this video will be totally measured in their response.
The other option, Ritter lands.
Ritter?
As in Three's Company.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Now that's
Ritter.
logic
Ritter,
in my
yeah.
head.
Ritter
Great.
lands.
Just
Okay.
go.
Come on, knock on my door.
No.
I've been waiting for you.
What about maybe something? Maybe the three thing we're getting too bogged down on. What about something to do with that? It's two basics
It's the
Starbucks
the
lands.
base
because it's too basic.
the
too
ba-
basic.
The base lands is a very highly picked thing in this particular thread.
Baselines is not bad.
Baselines is good.
Yeah.
The Lululemon lands.
or based lands.
Although, to me, that doesn't actually speak to what it does. Right? Like, you have these names that just sort of... It doesn't seem to match what the card is actually doing, right? You play a shock land, you take 2 damage. Mm-hmm. When you crack a fetch, you're actually looking for something. When you tap a pain land, you take some damage. When you play the Glacial Fortress, you're checking for things. But
Third base.
what does base actually mean?
Because you've got a basic, and this is no.
No.
We're not calling them the third base lands.
I don't know.
I don't know. I for me, I'm tempted to just
Third
plant
base.
plant my flag on Charm, but that's just me. Third time's a charm.
I like charm lands.
But
Or
I'm certain-
charm lands or crowd lands.
I'm also okay with Crowdlands.
Because that also has the that there's like a bunch of land there.
Yeah.
Don't make me choose.
I don't know, man.
Man, I'm real good at telling you the ones I don't like.
Yep.
Yeah, I think of those two, I prefer Charmlands over Crowdlands. I think it's also easier to say.
All right.
Charmlands.
How about we just plant our flag in Charm until we decide we want to change our mind?
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Call them Charmlands until we tell you to do otherwise.
You've received
We are the
your
arbiters.
instructions.
We are the
Yeah.
arbiters of
We
these
get to
things.
make this decision
Sure.
because I feel like it is our burden.
Yeah. Well, you want to fight about it?
Yeah.
Bring it
Because
on.
we'll do it.
Yeah. Fight me. IRL. You what, mate?
Yeah. As long as I'm given a deck that Gavin Verhey
Yes.
designed specifically to beat the deck that he also designed for you,
Yes.
which is designed to lose.
Yet Mark Rosewater, or sorry, Forsyth just crushes people with.
Well, he's a monster.
Yeah, he is.
So what do you
It's true.
A
expect?
beautiful monster.
Yeah.
We got duo duels.
Nope. Get out. You're fired.
Duodles.
Duodles.
That's the
Dual
first like
duels.
20
Duodles.
centimeters of your small colon is called the duodles.
Ooh, I like that. Santa Land. Because it's checking it
What
twice.
about Circus Lands? 3-ring Circus?
I think Santa Land is better than Circus Land because
Ouch.
it's checking it twice.
Oh. Yeah, no, we're not doing that either, though. Let's
I
just
still
stick
think
with...
double check is. By the way, I think double check counts as one word. It's a hyphen.
Oh.
Double check. Anyway, All right, we'll go with Charmlands for now.
That was a long, like 15 minutes of whatever that was.
This is good. I'm glad.
Yeah, no, I'm happy we did it.
We got a lot out there.
Yeah.
No, we've converged and
Also-
agreed on an answer.
The art on Prairie Stream is just phenomenal.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
fantastic.
and
Yeah.
it's amazing.
I'm really enjoying all the art.
Yeah.
So much great art and like the full art basics and it's so good. And they're reprinting your favorite full art basic.
Oh, yeah, the Varanik Menio Mountain.
Yeah. The Stargate Mountain.
Yeah.
Yep.
So pretty.
Really cool.
And so there's going to be people running around deliberately with the new Battle for Zendikar border and then the old Zendikar border, which are subtly different. One is ovoid, and this one is gate-shaped,
Oh yeah, it is.
Yep.
or arch-shaped.
Interesting. Oh wow, I haven't actually got a good look at Cinderglade. That is gorgeous. Anyway, so until next time, remember that this podcast, as with many things that we do, is brought to you by you and your kind support of our Patreon at patreon.com/LoadingReadyRun, through which the Mystery Box. We've just launched 2 things recently: the Corp Line podcast and sort of video accompanying it, and also the Sick Rips mini-series of jokes about specific Magic cards that you should check out at our YouTube channel. If you haven't already, let us know what you think about that and anything else that we talked about, and we will talk to you next time. Thanks so much.
Toodles.
Bye, everybody.